Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And for the sake of this video, I was going to originally do a review of the Crappy Bowl 52 today, but I decided to do, at last minute, decided to do something else. Because I hate football and I figured, fuck that sport and do something else. Because today I'm doing this video on hopefully get uploaded today too. On February 5th, 2018, February 5th was always my parents' anniversary. And it would have been my parents' 51st anniversary. My mother had lived, but fortunately she passed away 12 years ago. But it's also the anniversary today, the 30th anniversary of what's been called the Hulk Hogan Screw Job, which aired on Friday night, February 5th, 1988. It was actually called the main event. On the very first live main event show that aired on NBC on Friday night, I think it was at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC television. It was a live 1-hour broadcast. And because at that time they already had a successful, the WWF, the World Wrestling Federation, had a successful series called Saturday Night's Main Event. But they decided to put they had such a huge hype with the Hulk Hogan Andre match from WrestleMania 3 the previous March, and they built up that rivalry and they kept on doing it for most of 1988, and they decided to put on a live broadcast of the rematch between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, because it had said WrestleMania 3 was still the greatest WrestleMania ever, and to keep up building up that rivalry with Hogan and Andre. So they decided to have this rematch because they never really had a rematch, and it was a controversial thing with WrestleMania 3, where it had a near pinfall of Hogan within the first 5 minutes, which Hogan was actually pinned in that, but the referee was Joey Morella, delayed on the third count. I think his hand for the 3 count, hit the mat at exactly the same time as Hogan moved his shoulders up or kicked out of the pinfall. So it was practically a tie, and Hogan should have lost right then and there. But because of that controversial thing, they built this thing up, and so they had a rematch on live television. It started at the first Royal Rumble a month before, to sign the contract for the rematch. So now you have this rematch. And originally you supposed to have 3 matches. The opening match was the return match for the Intercontinental title between Honky Tonk Man and Randy Savage. And this thing, Honky Tonk Man was supposed to lose to Randy Savage originally for the belt, and Randy Savage would regain his Intercontinental championship. But Honky Tonk Man says no, he didn't want to lose the title on on live TV, on regular television. They didn't want to lose it like that, and so they decided to make it like a count out, and at the last minute make it a count out. So Savage will win the title, and they reconfigured some stuff because originally. The original belt was supposed to be Hogan versus Ted DiBiase, WrestleMania 4, with Hogan losing to DiBiase in WrestleMania 4, and also WrestleMania 4, I should say. Savage getting the IC belt back from Honky Tonk Man, but they decided to do this thing where Savage never regains the IC belt, which he never did in his WWF career. He never regained the IC belt or the Intercontinental belt. So that was the first match, the Savage Honky Tonk Man match, and that was a very, very good rivalry. Then of course the second match, which took out most of the rest of the show, was the Andre Hogan rematch, and they showed what happened in WrestleMania 3 with the controversial count in the beginning of in the first couple minutes of the match, within the first 2 or 3 minutes of that match. You actually had the famous steer down, and then you had a couple punches thrown, and then Hogan going for the slam, and Andre just falls on him, and you had the 1, 2, 3 count, and then I felt that Hogan lost. I mean, you can see it, he actually lost right then and there. But They're neither here or there, and I have to do a short video today for this thing. So they did this live event, and of course, and the main event, like I said, this was live. And not only that, but it was in the new Market Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, what was then the new home of the Indiana Pacers basketball team. And this was actually the first event that was held in that arena. I am not kidding. This was the first event that was held there. Was this event, and naturally it was a huge deal. It got like 33 million people tuning to watch this thing, and you won't get the kind of ratings again for wrestling ever again, at least on regular television, because of the whole Hogan Andre match. That people were tuning in for that because it was such a huge deal. Like I mentioned earlier, WrestleMania 3. So they did this one here, and of course. The announcers were Vince McMahon, who of course owned the WWF, still owns it to this day, and Jesse the Body Ventura, soon to be the governor, but I think like 10 or 20 years later after this, becomes the governor of Minnesota. Were the announcers. And one thing that stood out in this match that they kept harping on was how a great job Dave Hebner, the referee, and he did a lot of matches that Hogan did on the main event shows and some of the other the main events of WrestleMania. At least he did the main event for like I think WrestleMania 2, and a lot of the WrestleManias after this, like WrestleMania 5, WrestleMania 6, 7. He did the main event of a lot of the WrestleManias after that, and the Saturday main event shows, of course, mostly. And Jesse Ventura and McMahon, the two announcers, they were kept harping on what a great job Dave Hebner was doing. And like usually they don't do this. They do mention if the referee's doing a lousy job, or if he does this, or if Jesse Ventura would say, "Oh, he did a slow count on Hogan. Hogan was pinned, and the stupid referee did a slow count." They do mention that occasionally in matches, but to say and for both Vince McMahon and Ventura to harp on what a great job Dave Hebner was doing, you know that something's going to happen with this referee. They want you to notice the referee because of what's going to happen. What happened is during the match, Hogan was going to do his famous leg drop on Andre, which he does, and which he eventually is going to do. But Virgil, Ted DiBiase's bodyguard, because Ted DiBiase and Virgil were there ringside to back up Andre. Andre didn't really need a backup, but I was trying to say backup. But Virgil pulls Hogan's leg, and of course the referee is giving it to Virgil for like interfering. And then of course you see Hogan gives the leg drop, and you can count up to about like 12 or 13. That's how long Andre was pinned for. And the referee was still yelling at Virgil. So come on, everybody knows Andre got pinned right then and there in this match. So Andre got screwed in the original match of WrestleMania 3, and Hogan got screwed for that pinfall. So now Hogan he got up arguing with the referee that he had a pin, and you didn't see it because you were arguing with Virgil. And then that's when Andre gets up, gives Hogan two headbutts, and then he suplexes. Then Andre suplexed Hogan to the mat, and he goes 1, 2, and then by the 2 count you see Hogan's left shoulder. I'm trying to demonstrate my own left shoulder was up, so both of his shoulders were not pinned to the mat. And but the referee counted 1, 2, 3, and of course Hogan lost the championship to Andre, and he gave him the belt. And of course, if you've seen the build-up for this thing, if Andre beats Hogan, he would deliver the belt to Ted DiBiase. Which is what he did. And of course, there was one flub in that because when the match was over, Andre gets interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund, the main interviewer, and Andre says instead of the World Heavyweight Championship, Andre says the World Tag Team Championship. So it's a flub by Andre there. God love Andre, but he flubbed that, and he and he gave the belt to Ted DiBiase. He had the iconic moment with Ted DiBiase with the belt around his waist. And then you had the whole hoopla with Hogan going after him for literally sitting in the belt. And then in the ring, in the background, you see two referees. You see Dave Hebner, the actual Dave Hebner, with his identical twin brother Earl Hebner. And Earl was the one who refereed the match, the actual match. And Earl Hebner was the one who stiffed Hogan. And there was a big fight between the two referees. So hey, and there was a twist. You can expect the referee to get paid out by Ted DiBiase, the $1 million. Everybody has his price, but you didn't expect that the referee or Dave Hebner having a twin brother Earl. That you did not expect, and that was one of the best bits that they ever came up with of screwing a guy. This is even a better bit than the Montreal Screwjob with Bret Hart. Like 9 years later, we had the Montreal Screwjob. This was even a better bit than that, and and that's what happened. Of course, you have Hogan putting on the act in the locker room, crying. They were like, "Identical, identical," in the locker room, which was hilarious. And then you had the whole so-called investigation after that, and then you had the guy was there was like Dave Hebner's identical twin brother who has a license to to be a referee. So to sell the whole thing, they came up with this whole heavyweight championship tournament at WrestleMania 4, and of course the rest is history. With Savage winning wrestling 4 times and winning the undisputed championship at WrestleMania 4. Those were the setup for the whole heavyweight tournament, which took up most of the matches in WrestleMania 4. And you can check out my review of WrestleMania 4 for those of you who have never seen it, and most of you have not seen it because I don't think I had like 10 views on that thing. But this was definitely one of the best screw jobs. I think the whole Hogan Andre match, the completed match, is on YouTube for the main event. So look it up, and can't believe it's been 30 years for that match. Because I remember I watched it like 33 million other people who did, and it's still one of the best bits. Because you never expect Hogan to lose a match. But he did. I like the fact that he got screwed for once instead of him screwing, the villain or the heel wrestler. Because people were getting. I think at that point people were getting tired of Hogan being the champ, and him getting screwed like that. It was really kind of funny to see that happen. So that's a review of the very first main event, the WWF main event show on February 5th, 1988. Please click on the video, please rate it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only my YouTube channel, but at rowdyc.com. There's also WDY.com. There's a homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer, Christine Morton. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.